Hey guys, this is Nick from IT Support RI. Today I'm going to show you a couple phishing attacks or attempts that I've gotten on my email account. You might have seen something similar over the different weeks or months or years, and so I want to kind of tell you what you should be looking for, what you should be watching out for, and also what would happen if you did click on one of these by mistake, what would the hackers try to do with your account, and what are the different repercussions. So first thing you see, I get a couple emails open here. The first one I have here is this one, and it's coming in from Office 365 Center. You can tell by this account here to the right that's totally fake account. The message says it has my email account and saying that a couple of incoming messages failed. So it's not actually me to reset my password, and it has a link here. And if you look on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, it says that this link goes to Web Ones. So this is not a Microsoft account. So right away I know that's pretty fake. Here's another similar one, different email account in a different website, but same kind of message saying I missed some email accounts. Another one that's what I've gotten is action required. Your email password has expired. Has my email account in here. Doesn't have my name. It says update the password. Now, if you try to click on this, depending on what internet browser you're using, if I'm using Chrome, you would actually get this deceptive site ahead. That doesn't always come up, but this would kind of be a red flag that this is a dangerous site. Another thing that would come up if you use an Internet Explorer, this actually came up here, and it asks you to put in your password. It doesn't have my email account, it just asks for just the password. And that's something you definitely want to do. What would happen is if I did put my password in, the hackers would then have access to my email account, and they would start using that to either spread that phishing spam to my friends or relatives or business clients. Um, or they could request money, and they would do it in a way that I didn't even know what was happening. They probably wouldn't change my password. They would just leave the password the way it was, and kind of over time start doing these different attempts. Then they would also start trying to reset bank accounts, and because they have access to my main email account, they would kind of try to reset bank accounts and try to get money out of my account. So definitely something you don't want to do. Now, a couple tips that you can do to protect yourself is if you're unsure, always type in the website manually. So if it's like Facebook, you just go to Facebook. If it's a banking website, you go to a banking. Just manually type that in. Don't actually click the link through the email. Another thing is use Google Chrome instead of Internet Explorer. It's gonna be a lot safer. And I also always recommend a pop-up blocker. I use AdBlock. It's an add-in you can do here, and it stops a lot of those junk things from popping up. That stops a lot of the viruses from coming in. Always use antivirus protection. I use WebRoot here. Great, great protection. Very fast, very lightweight. Another thing that I use that a lot of people maybe don't use is a password manager. I use LastPass, and basically what that means is it auto fills out a lot of my different websites' passwords, and I have a different unique password for each website I go to. So the issue becomes, let's say you use the same password for Facebook that you used on your email or Netflix or any of those different sites. If one password gets hacked, the first thing the hackers do is try a bunch of other different websites, banking websites, things of that nature. So you want a unique password for each different website, so that if one password gets compromised, all your accounts are not being compromised. The difficult part about that is if you have different passwords, it's almost impossible to remember them all, or where do you put them all down. So a password management tool makes it simple and easy, so you can, of course, use your password on your phone, for example. Well, I don't know what my bank account web password is because I have so many of them. So you use a password management tool, and then you can just simply copy and paste depending on what site it is. Always use HTTPS. So whatever it is, it should be HTTPS, YouTube, Amazon, whatever it is. That's going to make sure it's secure. Just because it's HTTPS though doesn't always mean it's secure. It still can be a fake website. So you could do HTTPS Facebooks.com, and even though it says HTTPS, it's still not the correct one. So you want to make sure that it's the correct one. A second thing you can do is do something called two-factor. I always recommend two-factor authentication. It's basically either having like a code text to your phone is the simplest method. That way, when you try to log in, even if they have your password, you fall for that trap, or one of your employees maybe fall for that trap, you have a second layer of defense. I always recommend all the owners of any businesses we support have two-factor enabled. That way, just that kind of extra level security will definitely help you out. The last thing that I recommend is Office 365 has really good spam filtering. It'll get about 80% of it. Nothing gets 100%, but start marking those different emails as spam or junk. So you go down here and hit mark as junk, mark as phishing. That will start getting better and better over time. So you'll start getting less and less of these emails in your inbox if you're getting any in the first place. Um, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over, a couple weeks, couple months, but these kind of keywords, password, update notice, things like that will start being triggered as spam. Hopefully you guys like the video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.